Dear friends, in this video, I want to teach you how to read a biblical text in its original language without knowing Greek or Hebrew. The first thing you need to do is to open the website biblehub.com in your browser. As you can see on the top left of the screen, you can choose the biblical book. Until Malachi, all the books are belonging to the Old Testament. After Malachi, so from Matthew, all the books belong to the New Testament. I'm sure you know that all the books in the Old Testament were originally written in Hebrew, and all the books in the New Testament were originally written in Greek. Let us choose a biblical verse. As a test, we will choose Letter to the Romans, chapter 7, verse 25. How to do it? So choose Romans 7 on top. You will see Romans 7 and then all the verses for Romans 7, and Romans 7:25 in this case is the last one. The first text which will appear is the English text of this biblical verse from the New International Version. You can read this here. This is not the only translation. There are many others, and from the studies that I have carried out, I have noted that the New Revised Standard Version is a very good translation of the Bible. But let us now see the original text. In this case, we are in the New Testament, so the original text of this biblical verse will be in Greek. We need to click interline, and the screen will appear. So the text colored in black is the Greek text, the original Greek text of this verse. How to read it? Well, this webpage is very useful because it's telling you how to read it in Greek. For example, in this case, Charis te to Theo, Dia Iesu Christus, to Kyrio emon, ara oun autos, ego to men, noi douleo, nomo Theo, tedes archi nomo. What these words mean? Well, there is the literal English translation of these Greek words, which I've just read to you. So this is the literal translation. Of course, it's not optimized because it's word by word. And then you will read that the final translation in the previous page I show you. We can do the same exercise for a biblical text from the Old Testament. In this case, let us choose Genesis 1:1, a very famous biblical text. Once you choose that, the same screen will appear, but in this case is in Hebrew. I told you earlier that all the biblical books from the Old Testament were originally written in Hebrew. So you can see the Hebrew text. Sounds very difficult, and it is. You need to study a lot to learn it. But this website helps you to read these words. First of all, you need to know that when you read Hebrew, you need to read from right to left. So in this case, The first word to read is Bereshit, in the beginning. Bereshit. That's the first word on the right. Then you move to the next on the left, which is Bara, and then Elohim, and then Et, Asmaim, Wet, As, Ares. This is how you read the original text in Hebrew. And once again, also in this case, in the text below, in orange brown, you can read the literal translation of each Hebrew word. I hope this video was useful for you. You can now choose a biblical verse, try to read it in the original language, try to pronounce it, following the instructions that I just gave you. I hope you will like my video, subscribe to my channel, and see you the next time.